I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job, yeah. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job, yeah. Yes, I really love my job. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. Yes, I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. Get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. Yeshua, 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 Yeshua. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. We are disciples that make disciples, that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples, that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples, that make disciples. Let's keep firmly rooted. Firmly rooted.
Hey, good morning, Firmly Rooted family. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries. Monday morning, Kimberly and I are here at the house getting it done. She just did Flourish. We're doing Strengthening Our Roots. I hope you guys got a chance to be up early enough to see the sunrise today. It was absolutely stunning as early on the sun was hitting like the clouds that were in strips, and it's just beautiful, just beautiful. And as I look out the window of our bay window here at the canal, there finally is a solid sheet of ice going across the whole canal, just a thin layer, and it's pretty beautiful. It is pretty cool. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. You're going to hear that a bit. I was telling the guys this morning that for nearly a month, I have been just kind of meditating on and studying the word rejoice and the circumstances by which it's used in Scripture, and growingly becoming more and more meaningful, I think, to this old pastor's heart. So good to have you on board. Brian Vlaming says, good morning, saints. Vivian Davis, good morning. I've got my Firmly Rooted mug. I'm ready with some coffee. Anne Marie, good morning. Emily, good morning. My dear bride, good morning from the upstairs. She was banished to the upstairs while we had the men's devotion. No, that's where her desk is. She's got an office there and everything. So it's not a dungeon or a prison. But yeah, it's good. It's good. And also, you know, Elmar, be thinking of Elmar as he is going to have a tube put in to try to do some draining and maybe even another tube that does feeding. I'm not sure how that all works, but they're working on that today. Also, what else am I thinking about? Oh, Danny. God has literally moved heaven and earth to provide Danny an opportunity to have transplant surgery. And so we are lifting him up and the physicians in his body that he would receive that organ and just everything would roll out the way that we would like it to. And just God would continue to do what he does. All right. Who else? Jackie Matus. Good morning, Mary. Joe Johanna O'Brien. Good morning. All right. So we got a collision with some of the stuff that we're going through here because we're doing the Gospel of John and we're in the arrest and the crucifixion. And now we're hitting that same thing in our daily devotions during the week in Mark. And as we know, Mark was not a disciple, but he followed Peter. And so a lot of the information that he gets, he's writing on behalf of the information that Peter is sharing with him. And as he's using these details. So in the reading that I have today, Judas Iscariot, they make it into the Garden of Gethsemane. Who are you seeking? Jesus of Nazareth. They all fall down. They get up, lops off an ear. Peter does. Ear gets put back on, and they still arrest him. It always shocks me. Like, who arrests a guy that makes you fall on your butt and then ultimately kills someone right in front of you? Like, I want that guy to be my neighbor. I want him to live with me. I don't want to arrest him. But there's the blindness of the high priest and the deadness of their hearts. Peter follows at a distance while the high priest take him in, and he's warming himself by the fire. And we know what ultimately happens here. He denies Jesus and the rooster crows. But this is about a council that gets pulled together. They pull the chief priests and the Sanhedrin together. The Sanhedrin is like the Supreme Court. And they're trying to obtain a testimony because you got to have two witnesses that can corroborate something before you can, in Jewish law, so it's the whole idea of presumed innocent until proven guilty, right? We've kind of lost that in our society today, but that's where it comes from. Well, number one, they're having this trial in the evening, right? Because they found him in the evening at the Garden of Gethsemane, working his way back to Bethany, and it's illegal. Jewish law says it's illegal to have a trial at night because good things don't happen in the darkness. And so it has to be out in the light. So they're breaking every rule of their own just to get what they want done. But now they're looking for people. But so many were coming up giving false testimony about him. And nobody's testimonies were consistent. Nothing's lining up. Why? Because Jesus lived a perfectly loving life. There is nothing to find. He fulfilled the law to the nth degree, beyond what these fake religious leaders say they do. There's no blemish. There's no sin. So they're just making stuff up. The closest they can get is they got a couple people saying, we heard him say, I will destroy this temple that was made by hands, and in 3 days I will build another made without hands. Which he didn't say. But it says in verse 59, and not even in respect to this was their testimony consistent. So what do? Tomorrow we'll find out. We'll find out exactly what the high priests do with the fact that in their illegal trial, They can't get anything on Jesus. So what they're going to do is go directly at him. But I don't want to do tomorrow's devotion yet. So let's go back to something we talked about yesterday in our Bible class. Jesus is in absolute control of this moment, in all the moments, obviously, but especially Holy Week. He allows himself to be arrested. He allows himself to be chained. He allows himself to go through this trial. He's, for the most part, silent, fulfilling Isaiah 53, that he was silent before his shearers. He will only act and only speak, listen, in ways that will get him to the cross, not avoid it. Ever thought about that? If Jesus defends himself, he simply speaks the truth. But the truth just irritates them more and more and more. And so it's moving towards crucifixion. They need to get rid of him. It's why he came. We are a cross-centric church. Because of the death and resurrection of Jesus changes everything. What that means is even today, he's in control, and he's in control of whatever you and I might be going through, whatever trials or tribulations that we might be facing, whatever concerns or fears we may have, whatever insecurities that drive us into those fears. We can look up and look out, or close our eyes and see Jesus and know that he's with us, that he'll never leave us and never forsake us. Lo, I will be with you always, even to the end of the age. I'm going to walk with you. Even if we go through the valley of the shadow of death, I'm with you. I'm never going to leave you. So you need to keep seeing me. Keep your eyes on me, Jesus says. When the winds and the waves start making you uneasy, look at me. See me. Those winds don't bother me. Those waves do not bother me. So on a Monday morning, I hope that brings some stability, some certainty into the grounding of our faith and the strengthening of our roots. All right, that's what I have for you. Let's see, a few other people dumped in here. Let's see, my cousin Dave Donnelly, good morning. Chrissy Gunning, good morning. Karen Thompson, good morning. All right, everyone. I hope that this devotion was a blessing to you. Have a great day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.